Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how I actually got started doing YouTube videos and why I initially did that first video, and how if you are interested in doing something similar, I'll show you my setup and show you how it's actually pretty simple, and I really don't have a lot of money invested into it. It was just some really simple materials that I ended up making a stand, uh, got some lighting, and then had to improve my sound quality with a better microphone. Other than that, it's pretty much just me and the products and what I talk about, whether that be flashlights or multi-tools or knives or tools or rope tying and a lot of different things that I like to get into. Um, so the reason that I got started, the very first video was Leatherman Surge against the Leatherman Wave. And the reason that I started with that video was because I felt like there was a perspective missing. It seemed like everybody who did reviews on multi-tools either came from a military background or they were more bushcrafters or camping aficionados, and not really anybody that came from from the construction perspective. And so I decided to do that first video. And it's actually been pretty well received, and I'm surprised. If you'd have told me a couple years ago that I'd have over 10,000 subscribers, I would have called you nuts. I said, "There's no way. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a regular guy. There's no way I'm going to accumulate that many viewers. It's just not going to happen." Well, I was wrong, and I tell you what, if you think you're going to get rich doing this, though, think again, because this is not something that I make a lot of money off of. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm making about maybe $20 a day with the ad revenue that you get off of videos. So it's nothing that you're going to get rich off of, but I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy imparting the knowledge of things that I know about onto other people. And hopefully people are able to learn what really works best for them, to figure out, like, especially when it comes to multi-tools, finding the right fit for the right person is, I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm not necessarily trying to make money at this. Now, at some point, if it were to grow into something that I can turn into a real business, that would actually be pretty nice, because after 20 plus years of working on the road, I would kind of like to be home every night. So here's the main things. First of all, you got to get your camera angle correct, and you have to have a steady camera. Now, you can do that with just a standard tripod. I went a little further. I set up a little stand that we're going to walk through here in just a minute. The next thing is your lighting, and I just use some under cabinet lighting. Mine are actually rechargeable, and but you can just use really simple lighting as long as it has the right kind of lumen. You don't want it overbearing, but you don't want it too light. Getting your surface, your tabletop surface lit up correctly is really, really key. And the last thing is getting the microphone. Now, I started out with just one of those little lapel mics, and it just didn't get it. It just wasn't cutting it. So I eventually had to upgrade. Let me pull it down here. The one I use a Rode, and I apologize, I don't have the box, but I'm going to put all this stuff up. I'll actually put a picture of this up here, and some links also if you guys are interested. This one has been pretty nice, and this one, it's hard to find good microphones that will work with a smartphone, and that's all I'm using is just a regular smartphone, which most everybody today has. So getting a good microphone like this Rode in order to improve your sound quality. Now, I know there's a lot better options, and at some point in the future, if this continues to grow, then I'll probably end up getting a whole lot better setup. But I want to just walk you through what I have. So the last thing that you need to do is have some fairly decent editing skills, and it doesn't take much. I just do all my editing on a MacBook Pro. I've had my MacBook for, I don't know, 5 years or so, and it's an older model, but it works just fine. So there's a lot of good editing software out there, and honestly, for a lot of it, you don't even need that. If you got an iPhone, you have iMovie right there on your phone or tablet. So getting videos edited is really not that big a deal. Well, let me show you what my setup is and how I just put it together with some really simple materials. So this is my setup. So what I did was I took a couple pieces of 2x4, and then I took a long one across the top. I think these were 18 inches, and this one was like 2'6". And to put this together, I just used 1/2 inch conduit. Now I ended up putting some unions in here because I thought that maybe I might want to raise and lower it. But how I set it up was the surface, or the bottom surface here, is about 16 inches from the tabletop, which it turns out that that's a pretty good distance away. Where my phone is actually placed at, so I can either zoom in, zoom out, and it really gives me a pretty good angle. So I had to buy some base plates that will screw in so that you can attach the not conduit, but this is a 1/2 inch pipe. So just to screw in, just to have a standoff there. You can get away with not using the unions, but I put them on there just in case I wanted to raise or lower, like I said. So the next thing is the lighting. And what I did is I have just some under cabinet lighting, and they're magnetic. And on the bottom here, I have some little tabs that are screwed into the bottom of that 2x4 where they're just attached. So I like these because I can take them off and recharge them every night. And so I don't ever have to worry about lighting, and I don't have cords running all over the place. But you can just use a decent under cabinet LED light, hook it up, you'll be just fine. I think these ended up costing me like $25 a piece or something like that. But they're pretty worth it. I actually like them quite a bit. The next thing is, and one of the most important things, was getting a phone cradle. Now the one I'm using is called Mi Photo, and I like it because it oscillates a lot. So you can set that in. It's really solid, and then I can get the angle, any angle that I want to. So if I need to adjust angles on the tabletop, I have the ability to do so. And then I just added a little handle to it. And then the last thing is the microphone that we talked about earlier that I'm using here, and that's the Rode mic. And again, I'm going to leave links to all this stuff. So if you guys are interested in doing your own videos, then this really cost me like about $150, considering I already had the phone. The last thing that I've done, or the most recent thing I've done, is I just got a cut mat here. And you can pick these up at pretty much any hobby store. This was a suggestion by actually quite a few of my viewers, but one in particular was outside the target demographic. He suggested doing this. That way, at a glance, when we're talking about tools and multi-tools and knives, the viewer can kind of get a general idea of the overall size without having to, be spelled out for them. So this was a really good idea, actually. And eventually I might change this for something a little bit different. I would like to have a clear one with maybe my home state flag, the Texas flag underneath of it. So I might change it eventually, but nonetheless, just a decent background for your videos. And there's just so many people out there that are so knowledgeable on so many different levels of different things, that I just think there's a lot of voices that could be heard out there that would help people even like me. I learn from my viewers. Now I know a lot about multi-tools and knives, but every once in a while I'll get tidbits of information where I just didn't think about different uses for different things. And so it's actually been very helpful for me, and hopefully I can impart that onto you guys. So this is my simple setup, and I encourage you guys, if you're interested in doing something like this and you want to share your knowledge with other people, YouTube is a fantastic way to do that. And you'll be surprised if you know what you're talking about with whatever you're reviewing or trying to teach people. It will be very well received. My name's Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.